Shall we start?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Okay.
शोभा मैम आपका म्यूट में अनम्यूट कर लीजिए मैम.
Madam, unmute.
Done, sir.
Good afternoon, participants. On behalf of Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Khelo India, and behalf of our respected Shri Dr. G. Kishore sir, Principal, LNCP, I, Dr. Sanjeev S. Patil, would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all for this online training program for physical education teachers and community coaching. On this occasion, as well as for this session, a special guest as well as a special a speaker, Dr. A. Shobha, Director of Physical Education, Government of First Grade College, Peenya, Bangalore. She is a passionate physical education teacher. About her, she completed her PhD as well as MSc in yoga and MPhil in physical education subject. At present, she is serving in first grade degree colleges at Peenya, Bangalore. Madam has presented more than 30 research papers in many reputed international and national conferences, and achievements like she is a best basketball as well as a handball player. She has represented a national from Karnataka, as well as she is a university blue in Bangalore University, and Madam has good experience in yogic activities, as well as she is very good in research methodology. Awards like Best Appreciated Award for a paper at NA Nafis conference, national conference on fee education organized by Nafis, and elected as a joint secretary for Bangalore University Teachers Association. Many students inspired by her training as well as coaching, and because of her inspiration, many students has opted this physical education as their career. Today, she is going to give an expert opinion on age appropriate activities for the foundation year class 9 to 12. On this occasion, I request all the participants to pay attention for her expert opinion. Madam, on behalf of our institution and behalf of our Khelo India and behalf of our principal, I welcome you for this valuable presentation, Madam. Now I request participants to pay attention for Madam's expert opinion. Over to Shobha, Madam.
Good afternoon, and thank you for that sweet introduction, Dr. Sanjeev Patil, and respected panelists, Dr. G. Kishore, who is the principal of LNCP, who is a very highly esteemed person. As such, I know I have never met you, sir, but still I have been tracing your work, and I have been updated about your contributions to the field of physical education and sports. Respected Sujit Panigrahi sir, you have been the joint coordinator of this whole program, and you are the CEO of Fitness 365. On the onset, I would first thank you for providing me an opportunity, and also I would like to congratulate the Ministry of Sports, Sports Authority of India, Khelo India, and LNCP for conceiving this idea of bringing so many physical education teachers on one platform and enlightening them with this much needed concepts for their futuristic development. Thank you, sir. And let me go on with the presentation. Sanjeev sir, could you please go on to the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
So the topic, as you all know, it is like age appropriate activities for class 9 to 12 standard. Next slide, sir. So I would like to speak a few words on the background of what is the situation actually from 9 to 12th grade. The whole situation goes like this. The students are being prepared for the 10th board exam and at the same time 12th board exam. And it's a very challenging time for the physical educationists to take their classes themselves. So that is one of the major challenges they would have to face. Apart from all these challenges, I think physical education classes basically can be set for with the three main objectives. One, the first main objective would be to attend the mass participation, where we will have to attend the whole, we'll have to engage the whole classroom and even sometimes the whole school also. So the whole that mass participation will be one of the type of physical education class we will have to handle. Apart from this mass participation, we will have to select the sports pursuit people, like whoever is interested in sports will have to, and whoever is talented in sports, we will have to select them and develop them for the futuristic performance. Next, we'll have to have classes for sports excellence. So let me come down very briefly about all these things. First, we'll have to understand what is the nature of students at this point of time, like 15, 16, 17, 18 years. How are the students? What is their physical status, mental status, or psychological status? They would have just attained the adolescence. They would have been in the post-adolescence period. And for boys, they would have been in the adolescence period at the beginning of 15, 16 years. And by the end of 18 years, they are adolescents and girls would have hit the adult belt. So at this time, I've been observing the past 2 days presentations where experts have been talking about the classes from up to 8th grade, from 1st grade to 8th grade. So what goes on, like 1st grade to 5th grade, they are concentrating on building up the foundation skills. And again, from 5th grade to 8th grade, it is like they are exploring the opportunities. They are giving immense participation variables. They are trying them in various games. They are giving them a lot of opportunities, and they are trying to explore possibilities at this stage. But when it comes to 9th to 12th grade, the whole formula gets different. The kids here would have already developed liking towards some of the games. They prefer playing some games, and they expect few things to be in the physical education classes. Like they're more adventurous, they like competitions, and never to miss, they want the fun element also in the classes. So the whole, when we take up the mass participation, the mass group of the class, then we will have to concentrate on the recreational participation. The more importance is to be given on the recreational participation. And we all know that it is not just we are giving physical education for a particular 40 minutes class or a particular year. This they will have to carry on throughout their life. So we are empowering them with the skills of health for the lifetime. So if the students don't enjoy these things, If they are not enjoying these things, they will withdraw from the events. So recreational participation, we should be given utmost importance. And in recreational participation, we can see these points like development of physical activity or sports specific skills and tactics. You are developing physical activities, you're introducing them to many of the physical activities. At the same time, you're also training them for specific sports skills so that you can tackle if there is any potential talent to be identified. And you also have sustained involvement in physical activities or sports based on interest and competencies. So sustained involvement of in physical activities. How this can happen? How can they sustain their involvement in physical activities? If they enjoy it, if they feel that they can involve it, if they are confident of gaining something through these activities, then definitely you can expect the sustained involvement. And application of principles of training and safe practices. This is very much essential. Some principles of training has to be given consideration. Even though it is for mass participation, you will have to consider about what is the amount of load or what is the volume of things that you have to teach in particular sessions. And safe practices. I bet that no administration of schools or no parent would ever intend, and any amount of negligence on our side that may lead to a small injury of a kid. So safe practices is something that we will have to concentrate, we will have to demonstrate, we will have to lead them and see that they practice safely. And as I have spoken, maintenance of health related fitness. This is very much needed. This is what is needed for their lifetime. If you are able to teach them the mode, the means to maintain their health related fitness throughout their life, then you have done your job successfully. Apart from this, yeah, they are interested in certain, in picking up certain games where you'll have to teach them the skill related fitness. If they have to get involved in a specific game, then you'll have to teach them the related skills, the fitness. You'll have to develop the fitness through which they can perform the skills necessary for that particular event or game. Okay, this is like fitness and lifestyle, active lifestyle. This is what is needed for fitness and active lifestyle. Next, among this mass group of children, you have the responsibility of selecting the students for higher performance. So not everyone will take up sports, not everyone will come into the competitive mode. Maybe then you will have to select the kids who are really talented, who have some potential and who can pursue sports in future. So what you're going to do is, you're going to apply the training concepts for these people and train them accordingly. So development of, apart from this development of all these competition oriented skills, you will have to develop their mental skills also. Whatever amount of physical abilities you have, if you don't have the mental stability to go and perform it in a situation or on a stage, then the whole thing goes back to zero. So development of mental skills also is an important concept which you'll have to concentrate at this point of time. And you'll also have to give emphasis on sports specific fitness. It is not just the movement oriented fitness that you will be concentrating for the people who have pursued sports, who want to take up sports. So you'll have to now concentrate and develop the fitness that is necessary for the particular sport in which you want to see that particular kid prospering. So next will be, this is like, okay, you have done a team and you have kids performing in the team who are ready to compete outside, you have prepared them. Among those teams, you feel that some of them can really excel. they can make a mark in the field of sports. They can go to the higher level of performance, like they can go to the district level, they can go to the state level, they can target the national or international podium finish or something like that. Then the whole formula again changes here. So you will have to concentrate on high amount of performance-based training and competition, focus on one particular sport for this kids. We'll be speaking about this in later slides also. When we come to the long-term athlete development slide, I will be able to speak more about this. So let us go to the next slide.
मैडम
Yes, sir.
मैम सुजीत बोल रहा हूँ मैम एक्चुअली आपकी ना आपकी आवाज शायद थोड़ा थोड़ा ब्रेक हो रहा है मे बी यू कैन स्विच ऑफ योर ओन वीडियो फॉर सम टाइम
Fine, sir. Fine. Is it okay now, sir?
यस मैम थोड़ी देर के बाद देखेंगे आई थिंक बीच में थोड़ी ब्रेक हो रहा था आवाज सो
Okay.
शुड बी ओके या मैम
So next is like after going through all this, we'll have to concentrate on building physical and mental capability. So how to build, what are the concepts that we will have to take care when we are concentrating on building physical and mental capability. So these concepts will go in the hierarchy. Okay, social health. Whatever you learn being a sports person or a normal person, ultimately you will have to live in the society. The society will have to accept you as a part of itself. So social health is a very important concept. So how to develop social health through sports? So the sports is like, it's a small miniature of society in itself. The physical education classes, what you are facilitating to the students, it's a miniature of society itself, wherein rules are laid, and if you break the rules, the punishments are given, and you learn to cooperate, you learn to be honest, you learn to put in everything for winning, whatever you have in you, to try to put it forth for winning. You develop the team spirit. You are cooperating with all the you try to live with all those people who are inside the team. So it's a small miniature of society in itself. And once you learn these qualities outside, definitely you will be a very positive person, a very accepted person in the society, since you will bring all these qualities even when you are dealing with the situations of the society. So next, going upon the first aid and safety. Yes, of course. Sometimes I feel really tragedy when I see all these mishaps happening in the field of, not only in the field of sports, in schools or in general public. See, first aid and safety measures should be like a part of our education system. Really speaking, I don't know how many of the common people does know about the CPR training. There are many deaths, accidents occurring due to lack of knowledge about first aid and safety. It will be very fine. It will be very good, in fact, if we teach something about first aid and safety measures right from the school level. If it becomes part of education, it will be wonderful that they will be handling the situations much better than what is it today. Next would be the diet for healthy living. Diet is one concept which a sportsman can never neglect. Even for a common man, he cannot neglect. But for a sports person or people associated with physical education, they will have to concentrate on diet. Whatever performance you are doing, it is definitely influenced by the diet. So knowledge about diet you create within the kids, it is also very important. And next, speaking about the personality development, I have told you that sports is a miniature society. So there's no doubt that there will be ultimate development, personality development, if everything is, the formula is given right to the kids at the right time. So personality development will take place in all aspects, in all the 5 aspects: physical, physiological, social, psychological, or emotional development. Everything will be in a perfect formula, and it will be a perfect dish according to me. Ethics in sports. Yeah, ethics is also very important, which we will have to inculcate right from the bottom age of the children. We have to teach them what is righteous play, fair play aspects of the sports. Why is a sportsman esteemed about a gentleman? Because of his fair play nature, because of his acceptance. He can accept anything. He can accept defeat. He can accept the victory. He can be balanced in all situations. So if we teach them the right things at right time, I think they would never go off the way or off the rules. So ethics in sports also should be introduced. And the 9th to 12th grade, this is where it is highly important to teach them what is right and what is wrong. Because when we are introducing the kids to the competition, we see that they want to win. And they want to win at any cost. You hit the others, you just push the other person, you can win. That is their motto. You will have to correct them at the initial stages itself. So ethics in sports also is a very important aspect. Safe practices, I have told you, safe practices also. Safe practices, it's not only that you are safe. You are safe when you're participating in an event. You will have to see that you don't injure others, you don't play unfair things with other participants, and you're fair enough to the environment also. Here I would like to give an example. If you don't practice safely, as a physical education teacher, if I give you a set of cricket set and go and say go play, and within the 20 or 30 minutes which I've left you to play, if you break down all the window panes of the school, then what will be the next repercussion you can imagine from the administration side? So the environment what we are using, that must also be safe. The people involved other than me, they also must be safe, and we also will have to practice safe. This is very important. And recreational participation, I have told you, without the element of fun, adventure, competition, I think at this point of time, that is from 9th to 12th grade, we will be a failure. In every class of us, we should try and give them some satisfy all these 3 concepts among the students. If we are able to do it, then it will be a successful physical education class. So ultimately, why do we have to teach all this? Why do we have to inculcate all this? We want to develop a sports culture, a health culture, a physical fitness culture among the kids of this generation at least. If we don't develop the culture, I promise you that we cannot change the scenario of either physical education or sports in future. Because what we are facing today, we see lack of cooperation from subject teachers. They usually come and ask us, please give us your periods. It is a 10th board exam. It is 12th board exam. We have to finish our portions. This they ask because they don't have that culture in them. They have not understood how important fitness, health, and sports or physical education is in one's life. If we develop this culture right from now with the kids at our hands from today on at least, then I think the future generation at least will not face all this problem. So this is one thing which I would like to highlight. And next comes the sports specialization. As we know that all the complete class or the whole school cannot get specialized or cannot pick up sports as specialization. But we find some talent in every school. In every school, we find certain talent. We have kids with talents. It is our responsibility to recognize, nurture, and introduce them to this sports specialization. Once we introduce them to sports specialization, we have a conversation with their parents, administration, we try and convince them, then definitely we can pave a way to sporting excellence. This is what is needed as for the call of the day. Next slide, Sanjeev sir. So here you can see with this slide, what it is like progressive, how progressive we can take the physical education classes. Like 0 to 2 years, you bring in the awareness of the awareness among the kids, and you teach them all basic things that is necessary for them to move around, like sitting, crawling, walking, all those things. And 2 to 7 years, you concentrate on locomotor skills, try to manipulate the learned skills and also stability skills. So 0 to 10 years also you try to introduce them to sports related movement and transition of movement skills from sports to sports skills. Whatever skills, basic fundamental skills they have learned, you are trying to transit it to the sports like running, jumping, throwing. All this you try to transfer it to the sports they like, they want to participate. And you also try to introduce them to skills of not directly to the competitive sports or something like that. You are going to introduce them to the skills of athletics, swimming, gymnastics, which will definitely build their fitness, which will definitely put a foundation for them to develop on the lines. And next would be like 11 to 14 years. 11 to 14 years, it is like you're trying to experiment things. You are introducing the kids to variety of activities. This is very much necessary for the all-round development. Why I insist on variety of activities is, see, no single game or no single event will give you the complete developmental aspects. For example, if I tell you to tell the kids to participate in Kho-Kho, there are few things that can be developed through Kho-Kho, like agility is the main key factor, endurance to some extent, speed of short distance to some extent. But what about the strength? What about the power? What about the posture? What about the overall development? So it's like you have to give them variety of activities, and you have to see that the all-round development of the individual takes place. If you take them to athletics and concentrate only on athletics, when they will learn sharing, when they will learn to get involved as a team person. So it is always necessary that you ask them to participate, you facilitate them variety of activities. And next, when we come to the, and this happens during until 8th standard or 11 to 14 years. So once you are into the 9th grade, everything becomes serious. Kids who want to take up the sport, they have decided on sports which they have to take, and what level they want to achieve. They are quite serious about the things. And the whole mass of the students, they also know that for what purpose we need physical education classes. I personally have experience. Once we enter into the physical education classes, we can see them, ma'am, today let's go for the football match. Ma'am, today let's go play shuttle. Ma'am, today Kho-Kho, ma'am, this is what they come out with. Like they have developed an idea, they have developed likings, and they are into recreational part. They want some stress busters through this sports period. So, so for the mass participation, you can concentrate on at least 2 individual and team sports. And for specialized sports pursuits, you will have to plan according to the training principles. And to excellence, for the excellence pathway, you will have to take them to a higher node of training, which we will be discussing in the long-term athletic development slide. And this is also time for you to introduce them to the health and nutrition concept. Nutrition plays a very vital role, and you will have to introduce them to the nutrition aspects. So let us get on to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this is the way the construction of curriculum that has been done by the NCERT. The team has been given for the class 1 to 10th, first standard to 10th standard. Teams have been given, and the green shade indicates that what you have to concentrate when you are preparing the curriculum. Well, everybody have to give their importance right from first to 10th standard about the human body, that is there, and physical fitness and sports skills abilities. Also, it would have been done until 8th standard, and this we will have to build upon this. And regarding yoga, yoga has to be introduced. And speaking about yoga, I should bring it to your notice that the latest animal form movement of fitness. It is one of the very hot cake fitness concept that is happening in the field of sports. All animal movement forms of fitness activities they are practicing, and this is basically derived from the yoga status, yoga postures. So if you practice yoga, definitely the whole world is behind yoga. For whatever sports it's there, they are behind yoga, and they are including the concepts of yoga into all the aspects of physical education and sports. So it is time that we also concentrate and develop on these lines. Food and nutrition, yeah, we need to talk about food and nutrition right from first grade to the 10th grade. Safety and security, you can never neglect it, right, until at every part of life, indeed. And we and our environment also is essential. Social health is also like we have spoken about it, and this is the high time, this is the right time to put in the qualities to enlighten the students about the social qualities that they have to imbibe in themselves. So next would be like we will have to orient them to physical education and sports education programs. Well, some of the curriculum also consists of theory part of physical education and subjects for exams also. In ICSE board, you can see the subjects for exams also, where you will have to orient the students regarding the physical education, knowledge about physical education and sports education also. The next concept also would be about consumer health and sports services. This also we will have to give importance in the curriculum. And we also have this key 4 strands from 9th to 12th grade. So what is this strands? See, at this stage, as I have noticed, throughout the world, when you observe, the most dropouts in the physical education field or in the sports field happens at this age, happens at this point of time, either due to various physiological changes among girls, or due to pressure from the parents, or the pressure the students himself takes to perform academically, whatever the reason may be. It is like the most of the dropouts happens during this period of time. So what you have to do is you have to create the interest in them so that they at least themselves, they have to get involved at least in one game or sports throughout their life, which will keep them healthy. So apart from this, you will have to teach them about health and fitness. You will have to enlighten them. You will have to see that they get the knowledge about health and fitness, which they will have to carry out throughout their lifetime. The fitness assessment report card. This is a very important concept. Why we should assess fitness? Why we should assess fitness? This is why is it so important? If we have to speak about the sports persons, the people who want to pursue sports to their parents, or if we have to imbibe the culture of sports and physical education in the students for throughout lifetime activity, then you will have to assess and tell their parents, tell the administration, this is where the kids are standing and this is what we expect them to lead a successful life, and this is what we will have to do to achieve the desired goals. So fitness assessment report card becomes a very much essential concept. And social empowerment through work and action. Yes, we have spoken about the social concepts which will empower, which will imbibe confidence in the kids throughout their work and actions, not only in the school environment, but in the societal environment also. So next slide, sir. So we will have to introduce this. We have spoken already, like introduce children to a range of sporting experiences. I told you, because we have to see that they develop overall components, all the components that is essential physiologically, physically, socially, emotionally, or motor concepts, everything. If you want them, if you want to see perfect development, then you will have to introduce the children to a range of sporting activities. So it may be individual sports. Here I would like to give an example, like if there is a fencer and if he uses only, he uses his the important hand to hold the powerful hand to hold the weapon, and also the powerful leg to perform the skills. So you can see there is asymmetric development in the other portion of the body, like the one portion which he uses regularly to hold the weapon and to perform would be different from the other part of the body. So it is important that you have to see that no kid participates, even though he has taken specialized, if he is excelling in one particular sport, into a competitive, if he has professionally taken one sport, then he will have to go for other sports for a breakdown, for a breakdown in the boredom, for the symmetric development of other aspects, and also development of various concepts, social concepts or psychological concepts. So do not introduce children to a particular sport and just tell him to concentrate in one particular event. So all these things, whatever the programs you are designing for the kids, it will be definitely based on the space available, the time available, the infrastructure available, and the people, the students available, or the management that is supporting you. All these things will definitely influence your program of physical education. Next slide, sir. So these are the videos that are readily available in the Khelo India app, mobile app, which you can definitely go through, and I know most of them would be specialized in few of the games, and whenever there is a requisite of you to get the knowledge of some other event or game, then you can always rely upon the Khelo India portal or the Khelo India mobile app, which will enlighten you about the rules and regulations. It is very handy and available. So definitely go to
आज हम जानेंगे एथलेटिक्स के बारे में। एथलेटिक्स में बहुत सारे इवेंट्स होते हैं और हम इन्हें बेहतर जानने के लिए ट्रैक और फील्ड इवेंट्स की श्रेणी में बांट सकते हैं। आइए सबसे पहले ट्रैक इवेंट्स के बारे में जानते हैं। रनिंग इवेंट्स में स्प्रिंट्स, मिडिल और लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस रनिंग खास होते हैं। रनिंग इवेंट्स में स्प्रिंट्स 100 मीटर, 200 मीटर, 400 मीटर, हर्डल्स 110 मीटर, 100 मीटर, 400 मीटर, रिलेज 4x100 मीटर, 4x400 मीटर, मिडिल डिस्टेंस 800 मीटर, 1500 मीटर, 3000 फ्लैट और स्टीपल चेज, लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस 5000 मीटर, 10,000 मीटर, मैराथन, रेस वॉकिंग, स्प्रिंट रेसिंग। ट्रैक इवेंट्स में स्टैंडर्ड ट्रैक 400 मीटर्स ओवल अंडे के आकार का होता है, जिसमें 2 स्ट्रेट लाइन और 2 कर्व्स होते हैं। इंटरनेशनल इवेंट्स में 8 लेन्स होती हैं और हर एक की विड्थ 1.22 मीटर्स होनी जरूरी है। स्प्रिंट इवेंट क्राउच, सिटिंग और स्टार्ट कमांड से शुरू होते हैं। खिलाड़ी गन फायर पर रेस शुरू करते हैं, जिसकी कमांड इस तरह से होती है: ऑन योर मार्क्स, सेट, गन फायर। स्प्रिंट रेसेस में स्टैगर मेथड यूज होता है। रेस में वो जीतता है जो सबसे कम समय में रेस पूरी करता है। खिलाड़ी को इस बात का ख्याल रखना चाहिए कि वो अपनी लेन में ही भागे, लेन चेंज और लेन कटिंग ना हो और फाउल स्टार्ट ना हो, वरना वो निलंबित किया जा सकता है। आजकल ट्रैक में होने वाले प्रत्येक इवेंट के खिलाड़ी स्पाइक्स पहनकर भागते हैं। अभ्यास के समय जूते और स्पाइक्स दोनों का प्रयोग करते हैं समय समय पर। तो आइए अब हम रेस के चैंपियंस बनते हैं। मिडिल डिस्टेंस रेसिंग मेन इवेंट 800 मीटर, 1500 मीटर्स, 3000 फ्लैट और स्टीपल चेज। मिडिल डिस्टेंस रनिंग में स्टैंडिंग स्टार्ट और कर्व स्टार्ट होता है। इसमें स्टार्ट कमांड ऐसे होता है: ऑन योर मार्क्स और फिर गन फायर, जिसके बाद खिलाड़ी भागना शुरू करते हैं। खिलाड़ी अपनी सुविधा के अनुसार रेस आरंभ होने के बाद प्रथम लेन में आ सकते हैं। मिडिल डिस्टेंस रेसिंग इवेंट्स में खिलाड़ी राइट साइड से ही ओवरटेक कर सकते हैं। इनर लेन से ओवरटेक करने पर फाउल माना जाता है। इन रेस में एक साथ मैक्सिमम 16 खिलाड़ी भागते हैं। अगर ज्यादा हो तो हीट्स यानी क्वालिफायर्स होते हैं। 800 मीटर की रेस में हाफ स्टैगर दिया जाने लगा है। लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस में 5000, 10,000, मैराथन और रेस वॉकिंग इवेंट्स होते हैं। इनका स्टार्ट भी स्टैंडिंग होता है, मिडिल डिस्टेंस की तरह। लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस रनिंग के रूल्स भी मिडिल डिस्टेंस रनिंग की तरह होते हैं। मैराथन इवेंट्स फुल मैराथन और हाफ मैराथन। इसमें जो रनर सबसे कम समय में डिस्टेंस कवर करने में सफल रहता है वो विजेता माना जाता है। मैराथन रनिंग रोड पर होती है और इसमें अगर कोई खिलाड़ी किसी अन्य खिलाड़ी को गलत तरीके से रोकने या रुकावट डालने का प्रयास करता है तो उस खिलाड़ी को फाउल का सामना करना पड़ सकता है। रेस वॉकिंग इसमें 3 कैटेगरीज होती हैं। अंडर 16 के लिए 5 किलोमीटर, अंडर 20 के लिए 10 किलोमीटर, सीनियर कैटेगरी में 20 और 50 किलोमीटर। इस इवेंट के कुछ खास नियम होते हैं, जैसे वॉक करते हुए खिलाड़ी का एक पाँव हमेशा जमीन पर टिका होना चाहिए और खिलाड़ी का जो पाँव जमीन पर होता है उसका नी हमेशा स्ट्रेट रहना चाहिए। जमीन पर एक पाँव का कांटेक्ट न रहने पर, नी बेंड होने पर, रनिंग या जंपिंग करने पर फाउल हो सकता है। 3 वार्निंग के बाद रेफरी के द्वारा खिलाड़ी रेस से बाहर किया जाता है।
I think, sir, we can stop the videos and just go to the next presentation, because these videos are rightly available. It's very handy and you can anytime go through the videos, and these videos can also be shown to the kids, to the students, so that they get inspired and they get the knowledge about the various events. Well, speaking about the yoga, yes, it is. It must be a compulsory inclusion in your physical education program. In the upper primary and secondary, senior secondary school, we see that yoga is basically the yoga practices are introduced, and yoga secondary school we see that personality development through yoga is aimed, and yoga for stress management is there, yoga for healthy living, and yoga for concentration development is also done. This is very highly essential at the stages of 9th to 12th grade, because the children are constantly pressurized to study well, to bring out more marks, and yoga is like a boon. They can stress burst in doing performing the yoga. They can also visualize things and grow mentally very strong if we teach the concepts of yoga to them. Next slide, sir. So this is the Fit India protocol for the classes from 9th to 12th grade. So this is like the 15 minutes of yoga being taught in the regular class, which includes prayer, Surya Namaskara, and a few asanas of standing, sitting, lying positions, prone and supine lying position. It also includes pranayama. Brahmari pranayama is a very good pranayama for the brain development of the students and improvement of concentration. The waves that goes through the brain while we are doing the pranayama, Brahmari pranayama, is very beneficial to the students. And dhyana also, it's like you focus on the breathing. You can also teach them visualizing their success, which will be a very highly motivating point for them to put on efforts. Next slide, sir. So what are the major competitions that the students can be exposed? See, we have to see that the whole school, the whole community gets in the taste of competition. It is during the competition that so many qualities of social qualities are developed among the kids. The personal qualities are developed among the kids. So the major thing for competition would be inter-house competition, wherein the huge crowd, the huge mass of the students can participate. So you'll have to plan inter-house students. This is the justification we can do for all the kids. It's not that we are selecting few and sending for inter-house competition. So inter-house competition, you can see that all students participate in some of the events or at least few of the events. So it becomes an important aspect of your physical education program. Annual sports day, the inter-house competition and annual sports day are two aspects wherein mass participation can happen. National Sports Day celebration is also a must, and Fit India School Week. This is one of the latest and very good concept introduced by the Fit India. So this also will help the children to participate and have a taste of competition. International Yoga Day also is there, where you can perform yogic activities. Apart from the intramural facilities, what you are facilitating to the students, next you will have to go for the inter-school competitions, district level competitions, state level competitions, nationals, and you also have international exposure to the excellence part of the sports person. Excellent sports persons who are at the creamy layer, they can have international exposure also. Next slide, sir. So why recreational participation is so much essential for the kids? The first main purpose, that too especially from the 9th to 12th grade, it reduces the pressure. It builds up the bonding among the kids. it will allow them to bring out whatever is burning inside them. They bring out everything on the field when they are into the recreational aspect of participation. So the main aim would be on reducing pressure, and it also will help to boost self-esteem. You do a mistake, you accept it, you are caught with a mistake, you know what you have to do at the next time. So it brings in confidence in one's own abilities. See, so it boosts up self-esteem. What is self-esteem? It is developing confidence in one's own abilities. He would have never known that he can hit a goal. He can convert a basket. He can just stop a goal being converted. But once he is into the group recreational participation, then he realizes, yes, he can contribute. Even the kid is able to perform on behalf of his team. So it builds up the confidence in one's own abilities. Next is the recreational participation. Though the fun element is important, it develops the social cohesion. It brings together. It brings kids together. They try to hold on together to achieve the victory. This is the immense need. This is needed for the society. So they learn the social cohesion, and they will, when the fun part is there, when they are recreated, when they know what the sports or physical education classes is giving them, then take my words, it will be a lifetime memory for a lifetime involvement from their side for their health and well-being. And during this recreational participation, you can also see that you can curb the child delinquencies, the minor wrongdoings, the wrongdoings, the child's going against the rules and regulations, or acting against the framework which you have designed. It will definitely attract a punishment, a token of punishment. So wherein the child will learn the right way of doing the things. So child delinquency also can be stopped through this. And adolescence issues like a withdrawal from the event, or feeling shyness, or being consciousness of their own body. When you promote mass participation and add an element of recreation in that, they will definitely overcome these issues and try to participate in the events. So next slide. So these are the recommendations from Fit India for the exercises of school children in classes from 9th to 12th grade. So what are the endurance related activities? What all activities you can teach them? The strength related activities, what you can teach them, and flexibility activities, what you can give them. And you also have the differentiation of what is to be taught for how much time in each day, and how many days. For example, you have aerobics exercise that involves even moderate activities, involvement in moderate activities and vigorous activities. So these activities can be done for 60 minutes each day, which definitely would help to develop aerobic potential in the kids. The moderate activities may be like involvement in baseball, softball. If you don't have such space, you can ask them to go for brisk walking, bicycle riding. Even dancing is a very good aerobic activity. Hiking uphill, housework, rollerblading, running, skateboarding, yard work, sweeping, lawn mowing. All these are very good aerobic exercises. They are very moderate exercises which the children also will love to take part, and at the same time the endurance part also is being developed. And if you want to go for vigorous activities, then you can go for activities such as which involves fast movements like basketball, fast games like basketball, volleyball, cycle riding with a more tempo, increased tempo, and jumping ropes, martial arts, running events, sports, running sports, and soccer. So this will be like, it's a need for every day of 60 minutes each day. You can give it to the students. Next, we have 3 days per week we can concentrate on muscle strengthening exercises, which will be like both isometric and isokinetic forms of exercises. You can include gymnastics, lifting weights, monkey bars, playground equipments also, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, rope and tree climbing. All these things can be used for developing the strength concepts of the kids. Next, we also have bone strengthening activities. Bone strengthening, the flexibility of the bones can also happen. These activities will promote these things, and this can be included for 3 days per week. The activities may be like cheerleading, football, hopscotch, jump rope, jumping jacks, or all other things mentioned here like track and field, skipping and swimming. Next slide, sir. So when do you think that your program, your physical education program is a success? How can you think that you as a physical educationist, you have succeeded in administering the program? What is the composition of the successive physical education program? See, the participation of students in games, sports, activities, it proves whether it will show up whether your physical education program is a success, and where you'll have to work on to make it more successful. And this is also very important, the basic knowledge and understanding of the game or sports activity. If you don't imbibe these things, they will withdraw from the activities. The kids have to have the knowledge and understanding of the game. They have to know how important it is. Then it will be, the class would be of great success. The skills learned, development or enhancement of skills of games, sports, activity. We have to see whether the skills are learned, whether the skills of games, sports, activity are learned, whether the children are being motivated to excel, whether the children are liking to excel in the sports, they are liking to move forward with the activities, whether they have improved. Every time if we have tested them, then we will have a clear result of what is the difference between at the beginning of the year and at the end of the academic year. So you can see the improvement in the performance. If they have improved, you have succeeded. So enhancement of organizational skills for game, sports, saver or activity, if they have developed it, if they have developed leadership skills, qualities, and if they have acquired these skills, then your program is a success. And also you will have to give some scope. You will have to have scope for the children with special needs. You will have to design, you will have to, whenever possible, you will have to try to include them also in the activities. And if it is not possible, then try to design some activities for them, especially for them. And sensitivity towards gender also is essential at this point of time. The mutual respect for other gender should be developed at this point of age. Next slide, sir. So this is one of the very good model which we physical educationists will have to concentrate, and it is the latest happening in the field of sports, like long-term athlete development model. Why do we need long-term athlete development? All that we need is result. My kids has to go out and win. They have to be seen at the national scenario. They have to win a medal at state level. They have to win a medal at district level. I don't know how much immense pressure I'm putting them. How much ever practice is necessary for them for winning, I will do it. So this concepts have to be refined. It has to be changed. See, we can see all Olympic medalists. They have performed. They are winning, except for a few exceptions. we can see the optimum performance only after the age of 20s, in the age of 20s. So we should not force the kids on the concept of winning. So this model is developed by Canadian Sports for Life model. And here we can see that from 0 to 6 years, they have active start. What is active start? We will have to develop the fundamental movement skills during this age. And the next stage would be fundamental stage. This goes on from 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 in the boys, among the boys, and learn to train is the age between 8 to 11 and 9 to 12 among the boys. And if you see in the fundamental, I will give you an example of swimming in fundamentals. The fundamental skill development starts. What do you teach in fundamentals? You try to teach them how to go for a bobbing, how to walk in water, how to go for a breathing pattern, how to go for a float, how to kick, how to breathe out, how to handle water, how to put your face inside the water. These are some fundamental skills, and this applies to all games, all events. So at this age, you are going to teach them very fundamental aspects about the skill. And the major concepts, what you will have to think about at this point of time is, you should never lose the fun element. Children should enjoy the activity. If they don't enjoy, they withdraw. You know, it takes immense pressure for them to perform physically. It is painstaking, but still, if they want to come and perform physically, then that element of fun and recreation should be there. And the progression should be very slow at this time. And my humble request to all the physical educationists is, please do not use punishment as a tool. Please do not, no scoldings, no punishments, but at the same time, see that you maintain discipline. You maintain discipline in the class. So this is what is needed at the learn to train stage. Next would be the training to train stage. Training to train stage, it will be like you are going to introduce the techniques of performing the skills, whatever is necessary in a particular game or event. Next would be the learning to compete. At this time, you will have to, you would have already explored the possibilities. Since we have been introducing of kids to various activities, he would have already explored a particular possibility where he can perform or you can excel. So then he concentrates. This is the time where we teach him technical aspects of all the skills and also try to introduce him to the competition. You will have to decide on one major competition at this time, at this period. And next would be like training to compete. Once he is exposed to compete, he knows what amount of exertion he has to put, where and all he will have to develop, what and all he has to concentrate. So at that time, at the training to compete level, the kid has to be introduced to the knowledge of the events, knowledge of the sports. And at the same time, he will also have to be brought into the aspects of nutrition. He should be introduced the nutrition concept also. If he compromises the nutrition, definitely the performance also will be going down. At the same time, he will also be introduced to ethics, the basic concepts of ethics in competition, ethics in higher level competitions, and how to handle pressure. This is where we will have to, as physical educationists, as coaches, we will also have to introduce them to rigid training schedules and periodization for betterment of performance. So once we are into the training to compete, then we try to improve them. We try to make them excellence. So here we have goal setting. We will have to, and kids will have to decide on career planning also. They will have to learn self-monitoring, and we will have to take them to the pro concepts like pro fitness. They will have to be introduced. Today we have the latest techniques like visualization, breathology, and pro nutrition concepts. All these things will be introduced at training to win concepts. And this is the time where you'll have to also speak about the banned substances, the ergogenic aids, and you will have to introduce them to the perfect training schedules and periodization. Periodization should be involving general training, specific training, competition training, and also transition period. So why this is needed? Why long-term athlete development model is to be needed is we have to take the child progressively. To excel at the highest level of performance, there must be progressive approach. And we have to see that the child do not give up. The potential kid does not give up the activity due to boredom, due to pressure, due to forcefully involving the kid, or due to lack of motivation. So long-term the athlete development is a highly needed concept. Well, one more concept I would like to, next slide, sir, Sanjeev sir, next slide. This slide is like they have determined the age where to pertaining to particular activity, at what age they can start practicing the particular sport, and once they start at that age, what age they can reach to specialization and reach to high performance, and what is the right age for different sports pursuits are also being discussed in this slide. In this slide, I would like to bring it to your attention that do not go for early specialization. You cannot decide that as a child is definitely for this game, he has to definitely take this event. Do not go for early specialization. We have seen many of the people changing their events, and the recycling of talents, recycling of the concepts learned from one event or one sport to other sports is definitely happening, and many of the sports person have found success in that. They have become immense achievers after they have changed their event, or they have realized their potential in other events. So do not decide on early specialization. And if the kid has practiced 5 years in swimming or 6 years in swimming, and he wants to come out because he is no more able to take the pressure, then you think about some other sports or some other activities where his fitness level, where his endurance level, where the potential he has gained through that activity can be converted, can be an asset or a boon in this in the other activity. Definitely don't quit the event, don't quit the sports itself. So you have to think about recycling of talents at this point of time also. Next slide, sir. So this is a slide which shows about general guidance for training progression. So what is the training progression? What should be the frequency? What should be the intensity? And how much duration or what method or type of method can be involved. For under 6 to 8 years, you can plan for one major competition for a year and one practice session of 60 minutes. And from 9 to 10 years, you can just go for same thing, one competition, one prioritized competition, and one practice session of 75 minutes. For under 10 to 11 to 12 years, same thing, one competition and two practices of 75 minutes. For 13 to 15 years, you can have one competition and two practice sessions of 90 minutes. This fit principle has been adapted from the Australian Track and Field Coaches Association recommendation. Next slide, sir. So we do have the fitness assessment. Kelo India has designed a very good series of fitness tests for the school-going children, which can be adopted by the physical educationers. So when we concentrate on 9 to 18 plus years, we can just check their BMI, weight and height. We can just go through the speed test, endurance test, flexibility, core muscular endurance tests are available. So next slide, sir. So if you want to achieve, if you have to make them champions, catch them young. This is the ultimate slogan of Kelo India. It has been successful in making, it has an aim of assessing 100 million children. Among them, they can at least select 1 million potential talent, out of which we can make at least 10,000 world-class athletes, which will be a great achievement. Next slide, sir. So to summarize, fitness work on development of a structured program of 9 to 12 classes that stresses on fitness and active lifestyle for all children, sports pursuits based in interest and competency, sports excellence pathway for talented athletes, and structured participant and athlete roadmap for India. Thank you. And on the outset, I would like to thank for providing me this platform and giving me an opportunity to present my views on the pertaining topic. Thank you one and all. Sir, kindly unmute.
Madam, it was a beautiful presentation, a resourceful one. Few questions are there. Can you take these questions?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Now, most of people, they are facing a major problem, that is COVID-19. So, a question is there related to that. Neelambari asked that, what innovative way we can use to celebrate the World Yoga Day during these conditions also?
I think the Ayush Mantralaya and Ministry has already developed a protocol regarding this, and they are going online way of celebrating this time's International Yoga Day. And if you go through the Ayush protocol, you'll come to know about what are their plans. And I think you can adhere to the same things when you're getting along.
Nice to start with you. Madam, next question is that related to psychological aspects.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what aspects of psychology be given emphasis for stress-free participation in the competitions?
Stress-free participation. When does the stress occur? If the kid is not confident of his performance, of his abilities, then he is under stress. If the competition level is higher than his performance, the first thing is for you would be to build confidence in him, speak to him one-on-one and try to convince him that he has, there is no expectations. He has got nothing to lose over participating in the event. Whatever it will be, he will be gaining. And you particularly don't have any such expectations above his performance limits. This will be a stress busters for him, and the latest concept of visualizing the performance before the event also will be helping him to come out of the stress.
Madam, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Related to academic pressures. Many students are talented and they are very specialized also. They want to participate, but because of this academic pressure as well as parents pressure, they are not able to participate. So what will be the way for them, madam?
Oh, yeah, in my presentation also I have spoken. It's very challenging for the physical education teachers and even for the students that how to take sports as a major thing. The only thing is you will have to keep record of the kid's performance. You just make a note of what are his potentials, how he can, what level he can reach, uh, what he can achieve through getting involved in sports. Make a note of it. Speak to their parents. This is what the things are. Uh, he can we are seeing kids doing extremely good even in their academics. It is only disciplined part of things that the kid will have to have a disciplined routine. Then he can balance both the things. Only thing is it's in your hands to convince the parents, the kids, and the administration that the studies will not be compromised. And if it is at all compromised, it will be compensated through the achievements in sports. And today it's not like the previous 15 years back what the sports scenario was. Today there is lot of encouragement and a lot of even the seats wise, if they want to pursue the higher education also, there are immense sports quota seats available wherein the whatever the kid has compromised with his academics will be compensated through his sports performance. Only thing is you'll have to educate the parents regarding this.
Yeah. One more question related to biological aspect, madam.
Yes.
In our institution, related to biological aspects, uh, when a girl, when periods are there, what sort of precautions a teacher has to take uh, to train a girls also? Give some
Usually,
idea.
yeah, usually at this era, we see that the girls hitting adolescence right from the age of 11. So we have to be empathetic towards them, and see they have to get adjusted to their own physiological system. Even they are at confusion. So give them the freedom, like if they want to participate, if they are free to participate at that time in the activity, let them participate. Or if they are hesitant to participate, then ask them to take a rest for 1 or 2 classes and then come back. You just have to be empathetic towards them so that they get consensus with their own physiological changes. And once they are used to it, they'll roll back to the activities.
One more question is there, madam,
Yeah, yeah.
related to tests. What all we have to include in assessment cards, especially when we are focusing towards a specialization? What we have to include in the assessment cards?
It will depend personally depend on what you want to include as a physical educationist. The protocol is already there in the Kelo India portal. What all things you can include as for the test items. And apart from that, also, if you want to include some psychological aspects, assessment of certain psychological aspects, there are immense instruments to do it. If you want to assess the physiological aspects, also you can take care. It is all like what facilities you have and what you're permitted to do, what how much you are empowered to perform the test. So you can decide on it on your own. And as I said, few things are there already in the portal which are very useful, and you can adopt the same. It can be game specific also sometimes if you are going for the selection of games.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your valuable expert opinion on this questions, madam. I hope even uh, the students, those who are participants, those who are asked this question, they are satisfied with this answers. We are going to conclude this presentation and this session, madam. Madam, your presentation was so wonderful. The flow was really appreciable, madam. And the resource, the opinions, what you have presented today. In this session, even Sujit sir is there, and even our respected G. Kishore sir there. So I request this panelist, respected Kishore, add anything on this? Kishore sir, I hope he's.
I think probably it's not there.
Yes, sir. Sujit sir, now you are
Yeah.
here. Can you add anything for
Yeah,
this
yeah,
session?
absolutely. I think, ma'am, you explained everything so beautifully. I think people are actually talking about it. I mean, I'm actually looking at it from the participants' response point of view, and everyone is loving it. I think they are all liking the very simple way that you have actually explained everything, and even the examples and everything. So I think it has been very useful for each and every participant in terms of what is it that they need to do when they are actually looking at a curriculum for 9 to 12. I mean, of course, they had the earlier sessions also. So I think it has been very beautifully explained, and they have all absorbed the essence of what you people are talking about. And so that is what basically as a presenter and all of us, when we communicate with this entire community of physical education teachers, our objective is to just give them the competence. Of course, the content and everything, like you talked about, that there are a lot of tests already available on the internet and everything. So it is not really our job to give them the actual content, but also give them the competency and the confidence that they will be able to do it. And I think you have done that so well. I think people would find it very useful. Thank you so much, ma'am, for bringing so much value to.
Sujit sir, do you like to give some information to the students?
Sanjeev sir, sorry to interrupt. Can I take one final talk?
Yes.
Yeah, my request all education teachers who are into this profession. See, whatever the framework, this Kelo India or the curriculum of NCERT, they have given you a box. They have given you a framework. And I think achievers and successful people will always jump out of box and do great things. So if you are capable of doing things, if you are conscious of doing righteous things and contributing more to the knowledge, don't restrict yourself to the framework. Think beyond. Think, contribute beyond. That is what our field demands as on today. And Sujit sir, the whole panels, Kishore ji sir, Sanjeev sir, and the platform itself. I am very thankful that you have opted me for this topic and you have given me this opportunity. Thank you once again, sir.
Sujit sir, before conclusion, do you like to give any information for the students?
Yeah, basically for the students, I just want to tell something that if you look at it from day one till now, we have actually had sessions first talking about the role and responsibility of a PE teacher that Dr. Kishore sir took the initial one. Then we had Usha ma'am talking about the sedentary behavior and also talking about active lifestyle, fitness and all that. Then we had session on Fit India where we talked about the importance of school in habit formation. Then we had Ajit sir and everyone talking about how to plan a session so that every child gets at least 5 minutes extra in a PE period to do it in a very effective way. Saroj ma'am put a structure to it, which Shobha ma'am also is talking about, so putting a structure. Then after that, we had 3 sessions where we talked about structure for nursery to 5th, then 6 to 8 and 9 to 12. So I think from all of, I would say that as physical education teachers, look at this entire structure. So basically any chaos that you have, even if you have a chaotic structure, you need to put a structure around it. So structure is important, and like what Shobha ma'am is talking about, you have a structure. NCERT is given one structure. Kelo India has a set of fitness assessment parameters, but think beyond the box, or you can make the box bigger. So be part of us. Give us a lot of valuable inputs, and all of us would like to improve. I mean, as a panel, I'm sure all of us are very receptive ideas that you give it to us, whether in form of Q&A or even write to us. If there is something that you think that you want us to give you, please write to us and we'll be happy to actually adjust ourselves and also come back to you so that we at least also become better. So that's what would be my thing.
Yeah. Finally, this session has given a valuable resource for us, and Madam has given a beautiful, wonderful expert opinion on this topic. So on behalf of Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Khelo India, on behalf of respected Dr. G. Kishore sir, and on behalf of our college, Lakshmi Bai National College of Physical Education, and personally I thank respected Dr. Shobha A. Madam for her valuable presence in this session. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Madam.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you so much, madam. Namaste, madam.
And so, Madam is my guide.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice to know.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your permission to leave, sir. Is it
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right?
ma'am. We'll
Yes,
get
ma'am.
in touch, ma'am.
Yes.
So that
Thank you.
great
Thank you,
session.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very appreciative. Thank you.